Who else
You look good in black.
could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Louie T Live, second half, preseason week number 3, Bears, Chiefs. 24-10 is where we left off. Started the second half. Bears kicked off the football to the Chiefs. Nice return by the Black Mamba, as they call him, DeAnthony Thomas, as Mahomes back out there with the starters to start the third quarter. And I figure Andy Reid, being a veteran head coach from the old school, he would think about putting his starters out there to start off the second half, because you want to simulate and replicate what it's like to come out of the halftime break and go back onto the football field, especially when you got a young quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. If that were Alex Smith, he would have been long out of this game. But it's a young quarterback. He hasn't been through this before at this level, so you want him to get as comfortable and acclimated to things that he's going to see once the regular season hits. And one of those things is coming out of the halftime break, making some adjustments, and not many adjustments were made in preseason game number 3, but you still want to come out of the halftime break and have him take the field and see if he can't take his team down the field. This will be the last possession, if I had to guess, for the first team of the Chiefs on the offensive side of the football. We'll see if the first team defense returns to the field. But nice little completion here after the excellent return by DeAnthony Thomas that got him out past the 30-yard line, close to the 35. You get a nice little completion to Tyreek Hill. And all of a sudden now, you're, as a matter of fact, he had got them out to the 40. Then you get a nice completion to Tyreek Hill, and you're inside of Bears territory. They're going to back up now with a false start penalty. Looks like, I want to say Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle, was the guilty party here, but let's see what the officials call. But I think it was Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle. 71, Mitchell Schwartz, right tackle, jumped prematurely, and so that's going to back the Chiefs up 5 yards and make it 1st and 15 from the Bears' 48-yard line. So they're already in Bears territory, are the Chiefs, but see. Completion to Conley on a nice little stick, like a 5-yard stick route. And then he's able to turn up the field and get an additional 4. So it looks like they got about 9 on that completion on first down. 9 or 8 or 9, somewhere in there. And they gave him 8. So that'll set up a 2nd and 7 as the Chiefs are looking to get some points on this, what probably is going to amount to the final drive of the game for the Chiefs' first team offense, which it's been an impressive day in terms of, you know, the length of time these guys have been in the game. Full first half and into the third. Mahomes takes a shot, stays in the pocket, and delivers a beautiful ball low to Tyreek Hill. And I talked about this all last year, but Tyreek Hill's development as a receiver has just been remarkable. I mean, he came in the league as a gadget guy, someone that could stretch the defense, run the go ball, but his ability to actually run routes, catch the football with his hands, go down on that particular play, Mahomes gets drilled in the pocket, but stands in there, stares down the gun barrel, delivers the football over the middle of the field, but it's low where it needed to be, and Tyreek Hill slides down and digs it out and makes the catch. Hill's ability to just make plays as a receiver has really floored me. Mahomes uses his legs on this one. That might warrant the penalty. Let's see. He runs and he slides, and he got hit on the slide. I'm glad they didn't throw the penalty flag, but, you know, they quick to throw it. I'm still reeling off of that passing yo penalty from the first half. If you're just joining me, one of the Chiefs' defensive linemen, Tano Passigno, second-year guy out of Villanova, beat the right tackle of the Bears and destroyed Chase Daniel, and they called personal foul, roughing the passer, on what was a textbook tackle. So another penalty. Let's see. Williams is in the backfield for the Chiefs. I don't know who that is. Williams. I'm trying to think. They picked up the flag, so might have been a premature flag signaled by the network, or a official might have made a mistake and thrown the flag out. But Williams is the back now for the Chiefs. But it's 3rd and 9 now from the Bears 26. Starters for the Chiefs still out there. I thought the Chiefs just got away with a false start. But Mahomes is running, and they mark him out. Mahomes takes off to the left, gets 8 yards, tries to dive for the first down marker, but they mark him out of bounds, 1 yard short of the first down. So we're going to see, yeah, he stepped out of bounds for sure. So that's the right spot. It's 4th and 1. Andy Reid going to roll the dice and go for it. Makes sense in the preseason. They're in a gun. I don't like that necessarily. But 4th and 1. I wouldn't be shocked here with a gun run. They tighten the split of the gun. And Mahomes easily finds Chris Conley. Nope, DeAnthony Thomas. Easy. Where the hell was the defense on that one? I mean, he literally ran a 5-yard stop. And there was not a Bear within 5 yards of this guy when he caught the football. I just don't understand what they were doing there. But he's able to get the first down easily, obviously, and then drug a Bear defender an additional 3 yards. So a nice gain of about 9 on the 4th and 1 to set the Chiefs up 1st and 10 from the Bears' 13-yard line. So Chiefs on the move, similar to their first possession of the game. They're on the move looking for a touchdown. Wide open, Chris Conley for a catch and run of 9 down to the Bears, about their 4-yard line. Let's call it their 5. Let's give them 8. Call it a gain of 5. Can't wait to see Roquan Smith. They got a shot of Roquan on the sidelines. Finally resolved his contract issue with the Bears and was the last rookie to sign. And so now he's in camp, and we're not going to see him until probably week number 1 versus the Packers. But he's a difference maker, a true difference maker on that football team. And so 2nd and 1 from the 4-yard line. Can't wait to see him out there with the rest of that Bears defense. That's going to be fun to watch. If they could just stay healthy. Mahomes kind of flustered in the pocket. He ran into a sack there. He wasn't comfortable. The Bears did a great job of taking away his first and second read, and he started to panic. And instead of him staying under control, he knew that mental clock was going off and he needed to get out, and he couldn't find anywhere to get out. If he would have just stayed under control, he would have found a rush lane and been able to pick up something, but he panicked, and he just ran into a sack. So now it's 2nd and, they never got the first down. So now it's 3rd and 2. He lost a yard on that play from the Bears' 5-yard line. Bears trying to clamp down and force a field goal attempt here. Chiefs trying to get it in after a lengthy opening possession. Mahomes taking off, and he's going to get in there. Oh, he slid. Why didn't you dive? There's a penalty flag in the end zone. Most likely going to be on the Bears for some kind of penalty, holding or offense. It's actually on the Chiefs' offense for holding. So they're going to have to go back 10 yards. And Mahomes took a shot sliding before the goal line. Like, you don't do that. If you're a quarterback and you take off, you either dive going into the end zone or you just get hit. But you don't want to slide right before the goal line. That's pointless. And he took a hit sliding before the goal line. He should have been diving into the end zone. But we all saw Carson Wentz dive into the end zone last year and ended up tearing his ACL, but he got smashed in the air and sandwiched between 2 players. That's not what was going to happen there. But anyway, holding penalty takes him back to the 15. They throw a screen to Tyreek Hill, and he gets about a yard short of the first down. Let's see where they mark him at. They mark him out at the 5, so he's 2 yards short of the first down. If I'm Andy Reid, hell, go for that shit again. 4th and 2 from the 5. great block by Kelsey to give him a chance. And he was able to spring Tyreek Hill to the outside, and Andy Reid is going to go for it, 4th and 2 from the 5-yard line. I love it. You come this far, you've already converted on 4th down once on this possession. This is going to be the last possession for these guys anyway. Gives you some great short yardage work here. All right, Mahomes scrambling. Oh, he's doing that Patrick Mahomes thing. Runs all the way back to the 25-yard line. And not able to find anybody as he throws it out of the back of the end zone. Bears defense holds up. And the Chiefs ate up with that drive. 8 minutes of the third quarter clock. I love it. Shorten this game up. And it was starters, so that makes it even better. Robinson complaining, the receiver out of Florida, complaining of being held in the back of the end zone, but to no avail as the Chiefs get nothing out of that possession. But hell, good drive, good work for the offense, and I think that'll be the last time we see those boys in this half and for this game. Looks like we might see the Chiefs starting defense once more. And so we'll see what happens. What's good, y'all? What's popping? So we'll be doing this all day. Remember, we'll be live for the 4 o'clock game, Titans and Steelers. And for the nightcap of Chargers hosting the Saints. So we'll be live all day long with these primetime matchups. We'll be live tomorrow as well for the Bills and Bengals. And then we will have a wrap-up of the game at 8, Cowboys and the Cardinals. I might even go live for that game. I'll decide. I might just go ahead and get it out the way and go live while the game is happening. So either way, we'll be here all day long, all day strong. So you just call me a leave, man. All day strong, all day long. So come and tune in. Join your man Louie T as we watch these games. I assume with the Steelers, probably won't get any Ben Roethlisberger. Remember, he sustained a concussion in practice about 4 or 5 days ago. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that. Maybe it was a week ago or so. Or maybe a little bit over a week. But we haven't seen Ben Roethlisberger all preseason long, and it wouldn't shock me if we didn't see him at all in the preseason, especially after that concussion. So I expect to see Marcus Mariota and company, though. But hell, we didn't see Mitchell Trubisky today, and we were expecting to see Mitchell Trubisky. So you never know with these coaches what they're going to decide to do with their players. They know what's best for their players. So we'll see what happens a little bit later on. But right now, Bears up 24-10 on the Chiefs. And we're going to get third-string quarterback in the game now. Tyler Bray is taking over at quarterback. And the Chiefs, first-team defense, still in the game. So still getting some work in. Chase Daniel had a sparkling day, 15 of 18, buck 98, 2 scores for Chase Daniel. No interception on the day for Chase Daniel. I thought he was outstanding. Great ball placement, good poise in the pocket. Even had a 30-yard run down the sideline. I mean, he did it all in this game, and that's what you expect from a veteran backup, a guy that you're supposed to be able to trust. If anything would have happened to Mitchell Trubisky, you want to be able to rely on a veteran that's been in this league, doesn't have many starts, but has played in this league quite a bit and knows what he's supposed to do and what's being expected of him. So he was outstanding today. And it shouldn't shock anybody that Tyler Bray is a Chicago Bear. You know, Matt Nagy coming over from Kansas City, you know. And Bray knows the offense, can teach it to some of the other guys that aren't as familiar with Nagy's offense. So it makes a lot of sense. You see that very often when a coach goes to another organization. He usually takes a backup with him, a guy that can help install the offense to the younger quarterbacks and other players on the field and get everybody up to speed a little bit quicker. And Bray is that guy for Matt Nagy, was in Kansas City for a number of years, knows this offense, and he can come over and help, and he already knows it himself. So Tyler Bray, now a Chicago Bear. And we see it, like I said, all the time with these coaches. DeAnthony Thomas back for the punt. And he's going backwards. And he's going to be smashed by McManus. Yeah. McManus drilled him about 7-yard loss, maybe. DeAnthony thought he was going to outrun somebody, and McManus was like, nah, we ain't having that today, bro. And so Chiefs will start in their own territory, but they still got great field position. And I assume we're going to see the backup in Kansas City for the first time in this game. To this point, it's been all Chiefs starters for the most part. So we'll see what the Chiefs do here. And if we don't get more viewers, we'll cut this stream short and prepare for the next one, Titans and Steelers at around 4. So I'll give it another possession or two. And if we still sitting here with a limited number of viewers, then get the hell out of here. Who did the Chiefs start the season with? I forget who they start the season with. I haven't had a chance to really take a look at their schedule. I think it's somebody in the AFC East, though. I think it is. I'm not sure, though. I ain't going to say it. Don't get me to lying. Matthew Lynch says, how is Pat Mahomes playing? Played well, you know. He avoided the big mistake, which has always been my question about him. Guys with big arms are usually prone to making some mistakes because, you know, especially with Mahomes, a guy like Mahomes who never thinks the play is over and wants to extend. A lot of times you get into situations where you throw across your body or, you know, you try to do too much and you get hit from the blind side and you don't see it coming. And you end up fumbling, or you know, you just make a bad read and a mistake. He avoided all of that today. Missed the throw though. He missed a touchdown throw to Samuel Watkins. Would have been a 53-yard touchdown. Samuel had about a good 3 yards on the good 3 steps rather on the defender. About 2.5, 3 steps on the corner, and it was a touchdown. If he drops that one in the bucket, it's a touchdown. But he overshot him by about 2 yards. And so he missed out on an opportunity there, but I thought he was pretty solid on the day. You know, showcased his wheels a little bit. Did a good job of extending plays. Had a nice little completion to Tyreek Hill in a situation where he extended the play. Did some good things in this game. And the Chiefs' first team offense out of the game. So we're going to get backups from this point out. Chiefs offensive line. All backups now. And let's see who the quarterback is. Is that where he is? Is that Kevin? Not Kevin. I'm about to call him Kevin Call. Is that Matt Moore? Okay. All right, so now I got some questions answered. The Williams in the Chiefs backfield is Damian Williams, the ex-Tennessee Titan, and Dolphins running back that well, he's the ex-Dolphins running back. I really like Damian Williams because he can catch it out of the backfield, as you saw in that play. Plucked the football out of the air, turned up the field, and got the first down. He's so versatile, is Damian Williams. And then the backup quarterback is Chad Henne, not Matt Moore. So Chad Henne is the guy. And I'm not a huge Chad Henne fan, but, you know, you're looking at a guy that's been a career backup essentially. And so we'll see what he's capable of. So Henne's been a little high since coming in the game. Guys have been helping him out, making some good grabs, but that one slipped off the fingers of DeAnthony Thomas. Again, Thomas not a big guy, so you can't be throwing that football too high. And he's got to bring the football down. That should have easily been a completion, and that would have cut this 3rd and 10 in half to about 3rd and 5 had he gotten that football down. And with DeAnthony Thomas's ability, no telling what he would have done had he gotten that football in a position to catch it and run. Might have been able to either turn up the field, or he might have been able to make the guy in front of him miss and get additional yardage and maybe even a first down. So instead, now it's 3rd and 10. Henne throws to a receiver that falls down coming out of his break, and that results in an incomplete pass and a Chiefs punt. So Chiefs going to have to punt the football. And we'll see what the Bears do with the football as they get it back. And what I've decided to do is, since we're almost at the end of the 3rd, I'll just stay here to the end of the 3rd quarter, and then we'll get out of here. And we'll go to get ready for the Steelers and the Titans in their game. But looking at this Bears football team, man, they got a lot of young, talented football players. It's all about health, especially on the defensive side of football. I love the talent on the offense, but hell, they just need to stay healthy in general. Now that I think about it, obviously Kevin White is the poster child for injured, young players. But when you look at their defense, with Goldman and adding Roquan Smith, and you got Gumby out there. Gumby can't stay healthy either. And he's a guy that they need for pass rushing purposes. So they need guys to stay healthy. Because if Vic Fangio is going to do what he wants to do on defense, he's going to need healthy guys. He's going to need his best guys to be his most productive guys, and he's going to need them to stay healthy. Kyle Fuller, another guy, Adrian Amos, and some of these other guys that they're going to need to have big seasons. Danny Trevathan is one of the veterans on that defense. They're going to need him to stay healthy and provide leadership and production at that middle linebacker position. So they got some stuff, do the Chicago Bears on defense. But in order for it to come together, Prince Amukamara also on the roster, in order for that to kind of all mesh and gel together, guys got to stay healthy. They got to get reps. Leonard Floyd can't get hurt, early in the year. He's already gotten hurt. And they're not sure if he's going to be ready for week 1. He has every intention of being ready for week 1, but, just because he plans on being ready for week 1 doesn't mean he's going to be cleared and ready to go week 1 and be effective in week 1. They've got to find a way to stay healthy, man, because they've got some stuff. But it doesn't matter if your guys aren't on the field. And on the offensive side, they're just loaded over there. You got a healthy Kevin White. He looks good right now. Had the touchdown catch in the first half. You've got Anthony Miller, who I absolutely love, who I think is going to be a stud at the next level. You got Taylor Gabriel as a receiver. I talked about Javon Wims and what I think he's going to bring to the table. They've got Trey Burton at tight end. There is so many talented football players, and then Tariq Cohen in the backfield, along with Jordan Howard. There's so much stuff for this Bears football team that if they could just stay healthy, man. And their offensive line has always been talented. Health was always the issue there as well, you know, with Long and company, and getting Daniels in the draft. They love Charles Leno Jr. at tackle. They got a ton of stuff, man. So we're going to see what happens with this Bears football team, because they got a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff. And this is going to be a pivotal year for Mitchell Trubisky, too, because it's year 2. And the first year, I thought the Bears had one of the worst rosters in football. So you knew he was going to struggle in the sense of there's no one for him to get the football to. There's no guys that he could just dump it to other than Tariq Cohen and say, hey, go make a play for me. You know, one of the few guys you did have on the roster last year at the receiver position got injured in the preseason. A guy that you were going to rely on at the receiver position gets injured and misses the whole entire year. And he's no longer a Bear now. If I'm not mistaken, he's in Indianapolis or somewhere else. But they revamped that entire skill group on the offensive side. They went and got Trey Burton. They went and got Anthony Miller in the draft. They went out and got Allen Robinson, who we haven't seen all preseason, but he's going to be ready for the regular season. I don't think we've seen him. Don't get me the line. But A-Rob, they've added a bunch of weapons and for Mitchell Trubisky, and I really think that he's got a chance to have a big season this year. So Atlas says, check into your fantasy question, and it looks like you can assign a co-owner to your team who will handle the team for you. You'd have to pick the players for them on draft day, though. Okay. So, that's cool, but I don't care. You know, if somebody wants to be the co-owner of the team, which in effect they would be the de facto owner, could care less. They would just, I would have to figure out a way where they could get me to pick the players that they wanted, because obviously I don't want to pick their players for them and then say, here, you know, I don't want to act as a real owner and general manager and then just have someone be the head coach and say, hey, these are the players I picked you. Go out and win a championship. I don't want to do somebody like that. So if I can just assign a co-owner and have them make the picks, even if I have to make the picks and they just have to relay the information to me, whatever the case may be, they'll just have to be present for the draft, and then they'll have to make the picks, and we'll go from there. So if that is the case, then we will do the fantasy football. Thank you for that information, Atlas. I really appreciate that. And I'll go back and do some secondary work of my own to check and see, you know, the validity of that and how that works. And if I can, in fact, assign a co-owner, I'll just do that, and we'll get these fantasy leagues. So let me tell you what I was thinking, since I've got a couple of people here that may want to play in the fantasy league, and then I'll come back to your question, Matthew Lynch, and then we'll get out of here. I was thinking about doing 2 leagues, and, okay, hold on. Let me read Atlas's comment. He says, to clarify a bit, I think you just need the co-owner's email to assign them. Not sure what site you use, but should be standard. And, yeah, they can just tell you who to pick for the draft. So, yeah, if I can just figure out what the situation is, I'll figure out how it works. We'll iron it all out. But it sounds like I can move forward with the fantasy league. But what I was thinking was 2 leagues. I was thinking about doing an expert league and then like a just, you know, a fun league. But I don't know if I want to do that, because then everybody will want to be in the expert league and then no one will want to be in the other league. The expert league was going to be a 14-team league. I wanted to set it up that way because in a 10-team league, there are too many good players out on the waiver wire. I don't want that. I don't want guys being able in week 2 to pick up a quality starting running back, because with 10 teams, you're going to have guys that don't get picked. And I don't want a bunch of guys sitting on the waiver wire that somebody can pick up. Big return by DeAnthony Thomas. Breaks 2 tackles, 3 tackles, and he's well into Bears territory. Nice return for DeAnthony Thomas. So I don't want that. So then the magic number is usually 12. And in a 12-player league, it's really good. It's solid. It's pretty much the standard rate. And that's what you want. But if you want to turn it up a notch, you go 14 teams and you force people to have to make tough decisions and draft some players that are going to be well down the depth chart, but you're going to have to use them eventually at some point in the season to help you. Some guys that will be unsung heroes. And so you really put guys to the test in a 14-team league. The structure is going to be PPR, but I'm not going to do full point. I'm going to try and knock it off to half point, so per reception. So I do love the PPR format versus the standard format, but I don't like for every reception. I don't want Jarvis Landry having 9 catches for 8 yards, but you eating because Jarvis Landry had 9 catches. So I want to cut that in half. I want to make you work. My fantasy league is not for chumps. It's for cats that actually know what the hell they're doing and dudes that's trying to actually think it out and find a way to win. So I'm putting it together. Trust me. Slowly but surely, I'll get everything ironed out, and I will have all that information to anybody that wants to join. And we'll have that up and running this week because I want to do the fantasy draft this coming week end. So we'll get everything ironed out this week, preferably early in the week, like Monday. And I'll get that video up. And everybody that wants to play, you know, they'll turn in their information, and I'll sort it all out, and then we'll get the leagues organized, and then we'll go from there. So appreciate your insight, Atlas. That will get me started in the right direction. And Matthew Lynch says, how do you see the Bears faring this year? Look, this is my thing with the Bears, is that they're in a tough division, man. The Bears are in the NFC North. And when you look at the way that division's set up, Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers back in the mix is a dangerous team. Period. End of discussion. I don't have to explain that to anybody. Minnesota acquiring Kirk Cousins, coming off of a 13-3, 12-4 season last year and a trip to the NFC Championship game. You've got to think that they're a major player in the NFC Conference. Are they overrated? Maybe they are. You know, maybe we're giving them too much credit with Kirk Cousins at the helm, but they're still going to be a damn good team. They're still going to win 10, 11 games. You've got to think, if they're healthy, they're going to win football games. Kirk Cousins got Stephon Diggs lit up yesterday, and he had to lead a game, but he'll be all right. They'll be fine, and they're going to win games. And then you can't sleep on Detroit. Even though they're one of the most inconsistent teams in the league, they're 9-7, 8-8 inconsistent, 10-6 on a good year. So it's just tough for the Bears to navigate that division. And then, if I'm not mistaken, what division does the Bears play this year? I think the Packers play the Patriots, the Dolphins. So that means the Bears play the AFC East. There's some winnable games in there. Bills, Dolphins, Jets. There's some winnable games in there. The beauty of what the Bears did last year is that they ran the football. Didn't matter where they were. They ran it on the road. They went to Cincinnati late in the season last year and ran all over the Cincinnati Bengals defense. When you can run the football, you beat teams like Pittsburgh like the Bears did last year. And so if they can run it like they did last year, with all the weapons that they have at the skill positions now that they didn't have a season ago, look out for the Chicago Bears, man. Like I said, they're going to scare some teams. I don't know if they're ready to win, but they're going to scare the hell out of some teams. The difference between being competitive and being a good team is you find a way to win those games. when you're competitive or you're scary, then you get to a point in the game where you have a chance to win, but you just don't know how to get over the hump. And that's what I think the Bears are going to be this year. Matthew Lynch says, definitely want to join. So just make sure you stay tuned and you turn your information in when I release the video. Matthew Lynch also says, who would you rather draft, Devontae Adams or Melvin Gordon III? Well, backs always take precedence over receivers in fantasy football because they touch the football so much. But in a PPR league, you also want to have dynamic receivers as well. So in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is known to spread it around. So I would go with Gordon just because if Gordon is healthy, he's going to catch it 40, 50 times out of the backfield, and he's going to run it for over 1,000 yards and probably have double-digit scores. So knowing that I'm going to have a guy that can catch it and score, run it and score, and is going to touch it a bunch, I would go with Gordon over Devontae Adams. But that's just me. Anyway, that's the last question we got. And I'm going to get out of here because we're in the fourth quarter. And I'm going to prepare for the next stream. So I'd love it if you guys that are here joins me for the next stream. Titans at Steelers. That'll be on at 4 o'clock over on the NFL Network, which is where we are right now. So come back and join me for that. And then we'll wrap this thing up later on the nightcap, 8 o'clock on CBS. Saints at Chargers, as we will be on the Louie T Network all day long with preseason action. I, of course, am your man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you guys joining me in the second half of a game that, you know, at this point has not a lot going on, but thank you nonetheless for joining me. I will see you guys here in probably the next hour, less than an hour. We're approaching the 3:30 portion of the day, so I'll see you guys in a little bit, man. Thanks for joining me.